When a person is dealing with burnout, one of the ways to turn it around really fast is to rekindle the original inspiration of why you were doing it in the first place. Most people, when they think about spiritual awakenings and mountaintop experiences, they're thinking about how you come to an understanding or a revelation that then changes your life going forward forever. There's also the revelation that can happen when you take yourself back to the original feeling of passion and enthusiasm you had when you began. Now, anyone who has been married for a long time uses this either consciously or unconsciously. There is a way of being in the present and then bringing that love forward from the beginning. That's kind of where the work starts. So how does that behave in terms of Tai Chi Gung and energy, for example? Well, when you are breathing the energy consciously, one of the things that happens is that your frequency begins to go higher and higher. There was a lot of talk within our organization a number of years ago about being in 5D. Easiest way maybe to understand that is that you're vibrating with the soul in an omnipresent awareness beyond time and space. So who cares about that? What's the big whoop? Well, unconditional love, for example, one of its aspects is that it is timeless and it is beyond space. What if you could access that consciously? What if you could connect to the life force in such a way that time really dissolved and you brought yourself back to that original feeling, right? Now, spiritually, that's incredibly powerful because most people are struggling with this feeling of being separate from the divine, and by practicing the presence of the divine, the power and the peace and the compassion grow. This can be accomplished in any framework, spiritual framework that is true to the heart. In other words, the divine can speak to a person in the Amazon rainforest, in the monastery, in the abbey, you see. So the practice of Tai Chi Gung is unique in that we work with the life force that connects us to nature. And bringing that connection has a lot to do with establishing a figure eight. So again, if we go back to this idea of rekindling, in a relationship that is going forward really well, love and affection and caring is flowing from you to the person that you love, and the person that you love is returning love, care, and affection. And that is a regenerative figure eight, and it can evolve into a spiritual figure eight of unconditional love. And what's interesting about most relationships like that, there is also the ability to do varege or detachment. So you're completely committed and you're also giving space. That describes a really powerful, regenerative, loving relationship. When that has broken down, the overcoming can happen when you connect passionately to the source of life, for example, with nature, because it is unconditionally giving support. You can send the chi out and receive the chi back, And you can create this regenerative situation. And for most relationships that are not working well, that are important to save, it's not always that you remain in a situation that is not regenerative, but having the strength to remain is a demonstration of how much you care, right? And quite often, it gives that other person an opportunity to work through what they need to work through, so you can reignite, or in a certain sense, reincarnate that same feeling that you had before. The mechanics of how that works and working your way through it are much easier when you have a very strong connection to the qi. In the Tai Chi Gung system, it is so strong that we feel it physically. We feel it physically. And especially in nature, it is a wonderful thing. So the relationship becomes an added bonus, but not life or death, right? And sometimes to save something, you have to be willing to let it go. Stuff most people know. So the burnout thing is negotiable, especially when you can rekindle that original passion. And you realize at a certain point, you're okay either way. You are okay either way. I remember when my ex and I were splitting up, there was this moment where I realized, I had never really considered the possibility that breaking up was an act of love and compassion. And when I realized that and I opened that door, we split up in 2 days. After 2 days, we agreed to split up because it is something that she really wanted. And what's interesting is we never really fought again. The fighting completely stopped because I had literally detached. Now, it took me a while to put all of the things, Humpty Dumpty came back together pretty gradually. But it is something that I've experienced in a lifetime, and I thank her to this day for it. It was the first opportunity to really learn that to that level. So burnout is a tricky business, and Tai Chi Gung has helped me tremendously with it. We offer a free class to anyone who'd like to try. If you go to the website, you can grab a pass for a free class, and you can use it anytime within 30 days of registering. So would love to show you the exercises. I've been sharing classes now for nearly 27 years, and I've been training going on 38. So appreciate your time, and I look forward to meeting you someday. Thanks.